What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Ultimate Black Friday Trading Guide. I bring out very few of these Ultimate Trading Guides throughout the year. One was for Halloween, one was for Black Friday. We're going to have one for Footmas, Team of the Year, Team of the Season, Footies. There's not going to be too many of them, ultimately. Those are going to be the only ones that come out. So, drop a like on this video if it does help you out. I'm going to try to tackle all the questions that you guys have had. I'm going to look back in previous FIFA, see how the trends have been. Obviously, it's not going to be the exact same this year, but it is good to kind of get a grasp on how it's been in the past. I'm also going to talk about how the trading community growing is going to affect the market going into Black Friday. I'm also going to talk about how big YouTubers can affect the market. So let's go ahead and get started.
And I run around the suntown and act like I don't care. So when you see me,
What we're looking at here is the current state of the FIFA 18 market. It's called the Index 100, and Footbin tracks prices throughout the year, and they actually update them every few minutes, especially if they're newer cards. And if you guys don't know about Footbin, it's a great resource. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's not an advertisement. It's genuinely a good site to use for trading. But ultimately, it gives us kind of an index here of what prices have been throughout FIFA 18, starting with October 8th. That's when Footbin started working for FIFA 18. And as you can see, for a while, they were sitting up at like 108 points on the index. And then once we got into the Halloween hype, you can see how it dropped quite a bit. But if you guys remember, we were kind of panicking about how low prices were during Halloween, and the index got as low as 77.3 points. But in comparison to what it is right now, that's nothing. We're down to 64 points in total, and yesterday it was 65.47 points on average. The market is very low right now, and that's because of everybody liquidating their coins and selling off their cards. So what does this mean? Well, ultimately it means that we are in the midst of at least a market crash before the market crash. The crash before the crash and the hype leading up to it. So, with that being said, buying is very close to happening. Now, what'll happen is there's going to be a market recovery before Black Friday even happens, because everybody has liquidated super early. The day that this video goes up, there's still 12 more days, which is almost 2 weeks until Black Friday even happens. So there's a lot that can go on during these 1.5 weeks, essentially. We could see bigger YouTubers upload videos on when to buy, when to sell, especially Matt HD Gamer. Specifically, the trading community has been waiting for a video from him to see how that affects the market. Plus, when everybody is waiting for Matt HD Gamer to upload a video on the market, and everybody's expecting the market to crash at that time, what'll happen is it'll do the opposite because so many people are waiting to buy at that time. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a feel on how the market is right now so that we can go ahead and move forward from here and discuss when to buy and when to sell. This is important, and that's why I want to put it towards the beginning of the video. We're looking at FIFA 17 prices and how they were affected before and after Black Friday. So let's go ahead and take a look, I guess, at Marco Reus here. So, before Black Friday, about October 21st. That's a month before, 191,000. Then, leading up to Black Friday, you can see a significant drop in prices. Now, today is November 12th. We've seen how the market crash has definitely set in a little bit earlier in FIFA 18 than FIFA 17, but just go along with it here. They drop a ton starting on, it looks like, about November 12th, and they go down all the way from 164,000, this Marco Reus card, all the way down to at about Monday, November 21st, which is the Monday before Black Friday. Black Friday would ultimately be this day right here, November 25th. So that's the lowest point, was before Black Friday even happened. And yes, you can see how on Sunday it took a little bit of a dip compared to the Friday and the Saturday, and you would have been able to flip the card again, you know, maybe if you were to get a deal there. But ultimately, buy time is before Black Friday, and that's how it's going to be again this year, guys. Then it continues to rise after Black Friday finishes. By the end of the month, it's back up to 155,000 coins. Now, it never reaches quite back up to what it was beforehand, but it does make a hefty recovery going into December and mid-December. Then it's going to take another hit going into Team of the Year hype, and we'll get into that once December and January hits. But ultimately, we care about this little trend right here. Starting here, we've already seen this drop. So it started on about November 12th of last year. We've already seen that drop. So we're chilling at about this price right here. Now we're waiting for this little dip We're waiting for that dip that happened 4 days before Black Friday happened last year. Is that going to be the exact same day this year? I mean, it could be. It'd be a coincidence, but it could be at any time. It could be whether Mad HD Gamer drops a video telling everybody to panic sell, and maybe that would overwhelm the market, even though traders are and investors are considering buying at that time. But you can see how prices rise going into Black Friday. So it's not even the day before Black Friday where prices are the cheapest. It's on the Monday before Black Friday. Again, I want to stress this because I'm going to get a question in the comments. Is it going to be Monday before Black Friday as buy day? It doesn't have to be Monday. It's whenever we see this next little drop. We are currently in this little area right here. Now, I'm not sure if we're at the Wednesday or the Thursday because that's a big difference right there. But we are no longer at this part of the game. We are definitely down in the pre-market crash. Now, we want to buy at the perfect time, but what you can see by the graphs of all the other ones, you can look down at DSI especially, you can look down at Conte especially there. It's better to be a day early than a day late, because you can see how DSI went from 623,000 coins. He rose all the way up to over 750K by the beginning of December. Mkhitaryan went from 24,000 coins at approximately the time we're sitting at right now. He went all the way down to about 14,000 coins and recovered by doubling in price into about the 10th of December. Then you look at Conte down in the bottom left. 305,000. He didn't even take that big of a drop going into it. He did drop down to about 280,000 coins on one of those days, but ultimately his OTW didn't even take that big of a hit. This year, we are seeing OTWs take a hit. That's completely different, but what is going to stay the same is that recovery afterwards. Once Black Friday's done and over with, everybody who had coins ready to buy cards had bought their cards. Everybody who opened FIFA points has a ton more coins ready to buy cards. And the elite cards, the Lukaku OTWs, the Lacazette OTWs, the icons, and the big cards, even like Marco Reus, like Jerome Boateng, like Messi and Ronaldo, like Bale, Neymar, you get it. Those cards are going to take a huge recovery. They're going to go up in price, and we have to invest all of our coins into these guys so that we can come out with a lot of profit. So what would be the buy day for OTWs this year specifically? Well, we're looking at Lukaku here, who did get hyped up because he scored 2 goals for Belgium and broke a Belgian record against Mexico this weekend. He is speculated to get a inform or record breaker card, but if he doesn't, it's going to cause his card to absolutely tank in price. And when I say tank in price, I mean crash, I mean drop significantly. So right now we can see this OTW Lukaku, who I checked yesterday, he was about 770,000 coins, which is about 100K more than what he was at his lowest point earlier last week. But if he doesn't get an inform, this card is going to absolutely crash in price. I'd buy him on Wednesday. For the other OTWs that aren't hyped up to get an inform, I'd definitely buy sooner rather than later. We can look at OTW Bernardeschi, who is more in the range of what we can afford for most of you guys. I mean, I can obviously get a Lukaku here with 1.2 million coins, but let's say you're sitting with a couple 100K. You're not going to be even able to afford a Lukaku. But we take a look at this Bernardeschi card. He is still quite low in price. Now, he has been lower, but ultimately, once he takes that next little dip, I'd go ahead and pull the trigger because he's been up to about 45K normally. He dropped all the way down to about 32,000 coins into the, crash before the crash hype. He got as low as about 24,000 coins at one point, and now he's chilling at about 28,000 coins, which is still quite low. But I'd wait and see if he gets back down to that 26, 25 range, especially wait till after Italy play their game, and assuming he doesn't do very well or doesn't score too many goals, like they can play well and still go down in price, but assuming they're not speculated to get an inform is basically what I'm saying, that's when you would want to buy these cards. Let's talk about Path to Glory because they're basically the same exact cards. They're OTWs, but revolving around the World Cup. So let's go ahead and take a look at Sané, who did get a Path to Glory card. So Leroy Sané, he's going to be probably over 100,000 coins. I'm not actually exactly sure. I just want to go ahead and use him as an example. And yes, this card is definitely going to be over 100,000 coins, up to 250K. There he is. So he's about 250,000 coins right now. But what you can tell is that these Path to Glory cards are way more hyped up than OTWs. It seems like people have forgotten about these OTWs and everybody's focused on these Path to Glories, which makes sense. They're new. They're the new shiny card that everybody wants to get their hands on. But ultimately, you don't want to be buying a Sane for 230,000 coins, and you especially don't want to be spending 800k on a Gabriel Jesus or any of these Path to Glory cards. Gabriel Jesus is currently more expensive than the OTW Lukaku, which just doesn't make too much sense. I guess it makes a little bit of sense given the fact that Gabriel Jesus does already have an inform. But ultimately, these are way too expensive. So when is the best buy day for these Path to Glory cards? Well, ultimately, I think we're going to wait until we get closer to Black Friday and when they come back from international break. Now, you're wondering, why would they go down when they come back from international break? Well, we're going to wait till they play their first game with their club. So for Sane, it would be Manchester City. I'm not sure who they play, but ultimately after that game, assuming he doesn't do really well, then that card is going to be at its lowest point, even compared to what it was during the time he was in packs. So that's my take on when you should buy these cards. Especially, they'll be low because we're going into Black Friday. People will panic sell, want to liquidate going into Black Friday. So that's why the Path to Glories will be that low after their first club game back from the international break. Now let's talk about how the trading community has grown in the past couple years, how that's going to affect the market, combined with how big YouTubers could also affect the market. I do not count as a big YouTuber, if you guys were wondering. Ultimately, the trading community has grown from what it was in FIFA 17 to FIFA 18. And before FIFA 17, there was not that many people trading. It was L-Dog, Golden Bear a little bit, but he wasn't even a prominent member of the community yet. Ultimately, the trading community was very, very small. Once FIFA 18 or 17 hit, it grew a ton, and I'd say it doubled going into FIFA 18. That is saying something. There are so many people ready in the market. Ready traders, investors, pro traders, pro investors. I'm not a pro trader, not a pro investor. I just do this for fun, and I try to help you guys out with it. But ultimately, I do know my way around the market a little bit, and that's why I try to help you guys out. But how is that going to affect the market? Well, if so many people have prepared for Black Friday, and so many people are liquidated, which basically means that they have coins readily available, and I know you guys make fun of me for saying liquidated a ton, but I say it because it's very important vocabulary for a trader and investor. But I have 1.2 million coins liquidated. And sure, I still have a few cards invested for SBCs and whatnot, but ultimately most of my coins are liquidated. So, what does that mean? Well, I asked my stream the other day. It had like maybe 500, 600 people in there at the time, and about 60 to 80% of the people said they had about 60 to 80% of their coins liquidated. There were a few people that said maybe 30 to 40% liquidated, and there were quite a few people that said they had 95 to 100% coins liquidated. That means that people are ready to buy, and they're ready to pounce on cards. They cannot add cards to the market. They're already liquidated. They don't have any more cards to sell. But what they do have the power of is taking cards off the market and causing prices to rise. So there will be a point very soon on where prices do skyrocket. Whenever this said buy day hits, that's going to be the marker of when it is really too late to buy. Now, you could still make profit even if you bought on that buy day, but prices are going to begin to really rise whenever that is. Now, it could be, and this is going to relate to the big YouTubers, it could be on the day that Matt HD Gamer drops a video on the market crash. If he mentions that it is the buy day for the community to buy before Black Friday, and if he mentions that, that's going to cause his very impressionable audience that doesn't know much about trading and investing to buy, on top of the fact that there's been a huge trading community ready to buy when this video drops. It's just going to cause a double up of people buying cards and causing kind of an artificial rise in prices going into Black Friday. So, how is that going to be different from previous years? If there's an artificial rise before Black Friday and prices are higher. Well, one thing it does mean is that we need to sell our cards into that hype because they're going to drop again. It could be before Black Friday, or it could actually be on Black Friday. For the first time ever, prices might actually drop on Black Friday. It's never happened before. The crash has always been maybe a week before Black Friday actually hit, and that was how it was in FIFA 17 when we looked at that in the graphs a minute ago. But there could be opportunity for us to, make profit twice on our cards, and we would do that if it does happen. Now, will it happen? probably, based off of what we're seeing right now, it probably will happen. And you guys can stay, in my stream and see if that changes for me at all. We are still 12 days away from Black Friday. Things could ultimately change if the community's ideas change, if the masses change their minds, if something seriously alters the path of what prices are doing right now. Obviously, they dropped Path to Glory last week. Nobody really saw that coming. That affected prices quite a bit. So, will something else like that happen to affect prices? Thank you for the follow, Lance Lappin on Twitch. I'm not even streaming. Thank you for the follow. I don't know why I'm getting followers on Twitch while I'm making a YouTube video, but that's gonna be it for today's video. I went over as much as I could about the Black Friday, and the reason I pushed this video back was ultimately because so much was changing, and now I kind of have a better grasp of what's going on. Is it subject to change? It definitely could, but will it? We don't know. Go ahead and make sure to follow me on my other social medias. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Peace out.